Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Sweden or Bust, the world's favourite game show, or Scandinavia at least. They love their game shows. Not as much as the Japanese, but I'm sure they love them just as much. Right, in the last episode we were talking about tactics, or I was talking about tactics and you were listening, I hope. In fact, I'm pretty certain I made a lot of mistakes, but now we have a tactic and we are training it. You can see that I talked about the differences and I was going to move up these two, so they are now wingers. We've also got two other tactics where the only difference is the mentality changes. This is just because in home games I want to be able to set up more attacking wise, but I don't want to change the system too much because I think we want one that works both well as an attacking system and as a defensive system. Because I don't want to have to train two big old tactics, and I want to see if this is actually going to work. And frankly, I've come to the conclusion that it actually does work quite bloody well. Now, we're going to take a look at the fixtures that we've had. Now, you joined us, yeah, it was just before the Kalmar game. We didn't make any more signings, so there's no need to look at transfers. We couldn't. We nearly lost a couple of players. There was a few clubs that were interested in taking, I think it was Jonsson, no, it was Jakob Johansson, or... yeah, I think it was Johansson. A lot of clubs were interested in him. We were offered 250k, but it would have been useless to us at this point. So we rejected all the bids that we received for these guys. Malmo also put in a bid for one of our youngsters that doesn't even play for us. They wanted to give us 200 grand for him, but I was in no position. Obviously, if there's a reason why they want him, he's obviously going to be decent. Maybe their scouts are better than ours and they can see more of his potential than we can. So that made me want to hold on to him even more. Now, first day of the season, we were at home to Kalmar. And it could have been better. I was hoping that against a team like Kalmar we could have maybe done slightly more, but we didn't need to. Soren Rieks, because we were obviously starting with a slightly different system, I think. I forget. Let's just see. What formation did we play for that game? Yeah, we started playing our new system from the day one of the league, because I wanted to see what it looked like. If it didn't work and we were still... if we lost like the first 5 games or didn't really do much, I was going to just try and revert to something I could get off the internet, because I didn't want to bugger up the season so much that I got sacked, because that would mean the series would have to end. I say unfortunately. Fortunately, or maybe I'm just really good at this. I don't think this is the second one though. It's more likely down to just luck, you know, throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, and what has stuck is our formation. Soren Rieks managed to put us in front. We did concede a pretty unlucky equaliser to Marcus Thorbjörnsson. I'm guessing he's Icelandic with a name like that. Yeah. Oh, wow, he's Swedish. Interesting. Great name, fantastic beard. I mean, look, if you said, draw me a Viking, you'd draw something that looked a little bit like him with a helmet with horns on. That man. Pure Scandinavian men. Men. Anyway, moving along. In the second half, Kenneth Zohora was able to put us back in front, and we dominated the game and deserved to win it. We probably should have scored more goals, though, and that is going to be a problem that is going to occur for us quite a bit in the league so far this season. Not enough goals being scored, but we're certainly not having any trouble keeping other teams from scoring, and that's kind of the key. Next we went to ICOR, or AIK. I'm pretty certain they're based in Stockholm, but I don't really know. I do know, however, that they have a player playing for him who's English. His name is Kenny Pavey. And where is he? Please tell me he played. There he is. Yes. He's 34 years old now, but he's played for ICOR for a while. I think he had trials with Villa or Millwall at one point in his career. No, he played for Sittingbourne in the Calogas Southern Premier League, which, as far as I'm concerned, that is the top level of English football, isn't it? Isn't that what Man United and Man City are all battling to get into? The Calogas Southern Premier League. It is, isn't it? Yeah, I'm fairly certain of that. He's basically gone to Sweden and been a bit of a journeyman for the past few years, but he's played in the top level, and I'm pretty certain he's won divisions, won titles with ICOR and other such clubs. So, hey, he's done pretty well for himself. And that just shows you, English players, if you're not being successful, go abroad. There are other countries besides England. Follow Ashley Cole's example, but don't wait till you're like 35 to do it, because your career's gone by then. Anyway, we got a 0-0 draw in Stockholm, and I think the reason for this 0-0 draw was I set up a bit too defensive for this game, thinking that they were a better side than they were, because in my head they were one of the better sides in Sweden, but their media prediction was 9th, and I found out why. They actually were a bit impotent when it came to getting in front of goal. If we'd have set up a bit more attacking from the off, we only really got a lot of these shots towards the latter part of the second half. I think we probably could have won that game. It's a shame, but we didn't concede and we didn't lose, and that's important. And it's away, so it's a point. We're not top, but we're getting there. We then had Gefle at home. They'd lost both their opening games of the season, and this was their third game on our ground. And again, we were the better side. Not by much. Well, actually, what am I talking about? We had 7 shots and 4 of which were on target, which doesn't sound like much, but then we only limited them to having 1 shot, and it didn't even go on target. They were very lucky to get even that, so I was very, very pleased with our performance. That's the kind of miserly defending that I like to see. They're not even shooting from long range. Our bank of 5 and 4 is keeping a lot of people at bay, and I think that could be very, very good. We just need to snatch the odd. We only need 1 goal to win games at the moment, and that's huge. If we stop being able to score that 1 goal, that's where the problem comes in. Martin Smegberg-Dalens managed to get us the goal, coming in off the wing, and he's getting forward a bit more now that he's in that wing role. He does seem to be liking it. He's getting knackered, but I think that's an area we do need to work on, is our fitness. Next, we had the cup game that I told you about before, against Jönköping Södra. And, well, we made hard work of this. This is one of these ones where I think I underestimated them a little bit. They were a super side, and they actually came out and had a good old go at us. It took us until the early part of the second half for Jakob Johansson to put us in front, and then they actually managed to get an equaliser through Fredrik Olsen, and they'd had a couple of chances. They had some really good clear-cut chances in this game. Thankfully, I'd saved a couple of players back until we went into extra time, and I was able to bring on Soren Riex, who tore them apart down the left, and managed to provide a couple of great balls in which Martin Smegberg-Dalens was able to head and score home. 2 goals in extra time for him, so that was great, and it actually made the score a bit flattering towards us in the end. But we got ourselves through to the semi-final of the Svenska Cup, or Svenska Cupen. Next up we had Halmstad, again a team that aren't doing that well in the league at all, and we were at home. And once again, we were only able to achieve a 1-0 win against them in a game that, well, we frankly didn't dominate. They were actually very, very good in this one. They had a lot of these shots, and I realised that our attacking approach wasn't working, so I actually switched it back to a standard one, just to stop them from getting in behind us so much. And when that happened, they stopped getting their chances, and we had a couple. Then we got a corner, and a player was fouled, and thankfully, we managed to put the penalty away, and then I just shoved it on defensive. I don't care if they're a crap side, I didn't want them to get a late goal against us. We went on defensive, and we snuck out and got the 1-0 win. We are eking out wins, but we're sort of doing what Mourinho did at Chelsea back in the day, but with far lower quality players. But you can't argue with the results. It's been working so far. And our last game in this month was against Ulster, who I'm pretty sure Kenny Pavey used to play for. We had them away from home in the Cupen semi-final, and we got a very, very lucky draw for this, because we've gone through this entire cup without playing a single side from the top division, which was brilliant. I think the only time we played a side from the top division was when we played Norrköping in a game that we could afford to lose and still go through, which was fantastic. We got Ulster, and the other game was Malmö against Kalmar, which Malmö won, of course, because they're Malmö. We managed to squeeze past Ulster. I think, again, same problem. I thought, well, as much as they are a smaller side, I'm going to give them a bit too much respect, and we went for more of a sort of balanced lineup instead of going for attacking, and it cost us a bit. They started playing quite well. They went in front, so I immediately threw it on shoot on sight and straight on to attacking. And Keatle Whaler's goal, I think we scored 2 set pieces, and then Philip Hagland managed to score, and we managed to get away with the win. In fact, if you look at the stats, it wouldn't even suggest that they were involved in that game, but they were. They were very, very good. And we were through to the cup final. It'd be good to win it 2 years in a row, and it would be good to win some more silverware, even though we're not being judged on it, which is kind of annoying. Usually I don't like being judged on cup form, but the fact that we've already won 1 piece of silverware and we could be very close to winning another one kind of sucks that we aren't. Now, in Sweden, there isn't a League Cup as far as I know, so they just have the Svenska Cupen, as far as I can tell, which weirdly ends very, very quickly after the season starts. It's strange. It's not like the FA Cup where it's one of the season closers. The season's barely even kicked off. After match day 5, there's the cup final, which is obviously on TV, and we're playing Malmö. Not a big surprise there. Our next game is against Bromma or whatever, and we've got some decent winnable games coming up, so hopefully we can continue this run. Now let's take a look at the league. Now Elfsborg have had an absolutely wonderful start. 4 games in, 10 points, and I believe the only points they've dropped was when they played Malmö, so that allowed us to sneak back in there. At Viterbo have managed to get in there too, Mjällby, Helsingborg, it's very, very tight at the moment. The only team who are really having an absolutely horrific start are Gefle, and they look doomed already after 4 games. But who knows? There's plenty of time for it to turn around. We're certainly not going to be winning any top scorer awards this season. We've only scored 4 goals. In fact, Halmstad, who are in the relegation playoff at the moment, have scored more goals than us. Doesn't matter, because we've got the best defensive record in the league, and that could be key for us this season. This is the tactic we're playing. We actually had to put up... Jakob Johansson actually had to play up front for us for quite a while, because we had an injury to Kenneth Zahora, and he's missed 3 weeks, so we actually played a couple of those games without a recognisable striker. And this is because Malik Mane is a terrible target man. Despite being relatively... I don't know. He's built like a brick shithouse, though. He's like the Adebayo Akinfenwa of Sweden. Seriously. I mean, he's obviously Senegalese, but plays in Sweden. He's not that great. He can play certain roles, so generally when I play him, we usually try an advanced forward because he's better at it. But we really do need to get ourselves another striker. We've got a couple of injuries. Things could be better. But the fact is, we are still joint top of the league, and that's key. And I think once this system gets more comfortable with the team, we can start to maybe score a few more goals. I can tweak it a couple more ways to maybe put shoot on sight as a sort of standard instruction, because it does seem to improve our goal scoring when we actually have it on, and we don't seem to be scoring enough when we don't have it on. These guys are clearly capable of shooting from range, so maybe we should actually add that in right now. These are the instructions I'm using, in case you're wondering. We've got retained possession, shorter passing, clear ball to flanks because of our ability on the wing, and we've got the wide players now. Exploiting the flanks, obviously, play wider, of course, hassling opponents instead of tighter marking, because the tighter marking thing just meant that midfield runners just seemed to run straight through us, and it was terrible having a back 5, and high tempo. Now we're going to add shoot on sight to that one, and hopefully that should help. If I'm doing anything wrong there, let me know. If you've got a better idea that will make this system work even better, let me know. I'm dying to learn this stuff. It's working okay so far, but I want to see if we can make it better, because I do want to try and win the league this year, and that would be a big turn up for the books. We've already beaten Malmo in the cup final, so I don't see any reason why we can't beat them in the league and start winning some more games a bit more consistently, and maybe by more than just the 1 goal so far, because the only game we've won by more than 1 goal, I think, was the game in the cup final against Malmo. So hopefully we can do better than that. But that is about that. Now, next month, we've got lots of games against Malmo. So if you like games against Malmo, you're going to love next month. We've got the cup final. We've got the game against Bromo Poikana. We've got Mjällby. We have Malmo again. Then we've got Djurgården, which is a brilliant name, because I'm pretty certain that just means animal garden. If you're Swedish, let me know. I'm pretty certain that means animal garden. Or just a zoo. I don't know. Maybe it's just a zoo. And then we've got Häcken. So there's actually quite a few games next month. We've got 6 in total. There's no more cup games after that, so no more games can be sprung on us. But thankfully, because of the way it's lined up, apart from that cup final, which is on a Thursday, so we could be tired for that game. The point is, there's no ridiculous midweek fixtures after that. It's all Sunday games. Sometimes they get moved back to go on TV, but other than that, it's all Sunday, and it's all good breaks in between. So hopefully, provided we don't get too many injuries, we can have a relatively successful season. We've only lost 1 competitive game so far this year. Hopefully we can continue more down that route and have a decent year. Maybe even win the league. Maybe even get into the Champions League, which would automatically happen if we won the league. So the kind of one and the same really for us. Right then, join us in the next episode to see if we continue to be as Swedish as we have been so far. And by Swedish, I mean amazing. I really do like Sweden. Anyway, if you like what you've seen, hit the like button. If you like it even more than that, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, bye-bye.